Another week, another WrestleMania. This time it's WrestleMania 29, one away from 30. Let's see how well we can recreate it. This is WrestleMania 29. So, a few facts. The event took place on April 7, 2013, from MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. Attendance was 80,676. 22 wrestlers participated at this event. And we open up just right off the bat with an inaccurate match. It can be recreated. You can get the Shield, of course. They're harder to get nowadays. They're, of course, hard to get back in the day, too. I mean, when they first came out, just the fact you had 3 people working as a collective unit like that, you know, they released them as basics, and eventually they get their elites separately here and there. And Randy, of course, there's a blue attire. He didn't really seem to care to wear anything special at the time. Spoiler, of course, him and Orton, or Sam and Show and Sheamus would go on to lose this match to the Shield. Big Show, kind of close, but not quite accurate. Sheamus is from that. In fact, you can see the decal right there. It says WrestleMania 29. So they did make Sheamus. Of course, Shield, you can get a 3-pack of them and countless times. They've got Elite Shield, Basic Shield, Individual Shield, Tag Team Shields. So they're just all over the place at the time. But here's a match you can recreate and is accurate. It's Ryback versus Mark Henry. Surprisingly, I remember while watching this thinking that Ryback was just going to win, get that big push towards getting back into the hunt since he came so close to winning the Royal Rumble the previous 2 pay-per-views ago, and Henry won it. Hands down beat him, and it looked like it was probably just kind of like a favor to Henry, because I think this would be like his last WrestleMania match, my knowledge. Then you had the tag team of Big E and Dolph Ziggler and Team Hell No, Daniel Bryan and Kane. And here you can see the shoulder straps have kind of shrunk on Kane, so this is more accurate than last time. And again, I do apologize for that photo. I didn't realize it until I already had uploaded it, or was uploading it. But you've got right there the Daniel Bryan based on it. Of course, you put them in a 2-pack. There is like a WrestleMania anniversary 2-pack flashback deal with Daniel Bryan and Kane. Daniel Bryan figures he's no longer with the company, so we may not see any more flashbacks of him, as I think he plans to retire with the All Elite brand. Big E, of course, he's got the Intercontinental Championship. He would win the Intercontinental title later on, but this is kind of like the look he had at the time. I don't think this was the match where he actually smacked AJ in the chest, which was on Botchamania. But this Dolph, he wasn't a world champion at the time. He would win the title the next night. So this is very accurate. Of course, he had like a vest. I think when he came out, he had the T-shirt the next night and got rid of the vest idea. There's not the Money in the Bank, of course. He has the belt, but that is literally the attire. A little fade, obviously the decal on it, or the deco, excuse me. Not as shiny as I think they'd like, but that literally is the same one he'd walk out and win the next night. Then on to the 4th match, and this Jericho was hard because it looks purple, but I know it's kind of gray a little bit. You can find one that's very similar to that. You can find Fandango, so because it's like a purple Jericho, I kind of counted it. There was, I know, another one, but I couldn't get a good photo of it that showed it. It was just really blurry and really tiny. So I'm counting as accurate. Fandango is definitely accurate. This is a debut look. We never would get this in Elite form. He would get a more colorful attire. Then, of course, he would get his Breezango Fashion Police 2-pack, or not 2-pack, but tag team look. And yeah, guy debuts at WrestleMania and wins and doesn't really go anywhere. I don't think he held one belt. I think it was the NXT tag belts. with Tyler Breeze. Then on to the 5th match, and at first I didn't think there was a Jack Swagger that represented his WrestleMania 29 look. This one flew under the radar for me. I know that I bought his Elite, which was based on his Elimination Chamber qualifying that he won when he beat Orton to take on Del Rio, which literally was almost like Eddie versus Kurt Angle, 2, but not Eddie and Kurt, just American versus foreign babyface figure, which Del Rio, being a babyface, didn't last very long. People didn't really buy it, and of course, later on, knowing what we know about the guy now, I don't think he could be a face in any company ever again with just the person that he is, or he's become. But I'm not here to pass that judgment. But the idea is literally, here's the 2 figures that make this possible. It was for the World Heavyweight title. This would probably be this is the last time you would see this belt defended at WrestleMania. It would be merged. Streak continues. Yes, it does with these 2, and I do believe there's an Elite of that Taker. I, for life of me, couldn't figure out what it was under. I think it was just under a basic Elite series. Of course, here's the WrestleMania 29 look for this Taker. Then, of course, there's also the Best of Review series, CM Punk. This Punk was nice. It was a nice throwback to Taker's older colors. Very highly sought after when it came out. Still very highly sought after. It is a cool attire. I had it for a little while. I preferred his more colorful looks. But, if I could find one for a reasonable price, I probably would snag one up. But, of course, his figures are going for a lot of money right now. They're probably going to go for a lot of money even when AEW starts mass producing Punks left and right. It's just the way it's going to be. Then on to the 7th match, Triple H versus Brock Lesnar. This Brock, man, to say the least, hard to find. Which is interesting about this Brock Lesnar, though, is if you look at the attire, I can't tell if he was wearing red or not. I think he was still wearing the red and black at the time. It is based off his WrestleMania 29 match with Triple H. And there's the Triple H over there. Of course, this would be like a retirement match for Triple H if he lost, which he won. Which Brock at the time was not the dominant beast he would become just a a few months later. Well, a lot more months later. But at the time, he lost to Cena when he came back, and then he beat Punk, and then he beat beat up Triple H and broke, I think, someone's arm. But Triple H came back. This also, I think, the pay-per-view where Triple H badly burned himself from his pyro. The frozen ice or something like that got stuck on his and whatnot. So he had some burn marks. But these 2 figures, I had them. They were great figures at the time. Pretty much every year it seemed like I updated my Triple H. And I usually do that all the time until I got the Ultimate. And now I just kind of keep them as an Ultimate. But yeah, only available at Toys R Us. Only available at Toys R Us. So sadly, the location these were common to come to is no longer there. And then our main event, it was John Cena versus The Rock 2. Hey, I thought it was supposed to be once in a lifetime. Now they lied to us. But this time they decided to change it up and put the belt on there. And this, of course, was after CM Punk had lost his belt to The Rock. And Punk, I think, took the belt and walked away with it for a little while. And then eventually The Rock would beat him, get the belt back. And then he introduced this brand new championship instead of the spinner belt to kind of diss on Cena. And I liked the design of it. I thought it should have stayed longer than it did. I know that they would kind of keep the look, but then they would take the champion out of the mold and kind of cut it down to WWE. It looks like a brand, like a logo sticker belt nowadays. I mean, this looked authentic. I like the look of it. I still have this belt. You can pick up this belt, of course, with this John Cena, or you can pick it up with the new Ultimate Rock if you want the Brahma Bull side plates. Other than that, I can't think. Maybe a Lesnar came with this belt. I'm not quite sure. I know that the one Cena I wish they had made Ultimate, or not Ultimate, but Elite, would have been the SummerSlam one with the reddish gold looking deal decal with he had, and that was pretty sick. This rock, I do believe you can get this rock in Ultimate form nowadays, but I only saw this at WrestleMania 29. I wanted to, show authentic figures from back in the day, and these are the two right here. Cena won, Rock lost, so Cena gets Elite, Rock gets the basic. I guess that's how it kind of was done at the time. Sometimes, just depending on the situation. But let's see. So, sadly, actually, you can recreate this by 100%. Now, sadly, we were just one match, and that's Big Show not having the accurate attire. So if if we overlooked it, if they just made that Big Show, this would have been our very first 100% accurate WrestleMania. So I gotta give Mattel props on this. That's 87% still very high. That might be the highest record we've had so far. Mattel, of course, has 100% with 22 figures. Jakks is now dropping drastically down to 13 figures. Of course, they wouldn't have the exact attires because they are passé at this point. But, they're still hanging there a little bit. But yeah, no, if you wanted to recreate WrestleMania 29, you're so close. I mean, they just never made that Big Show, and sadly, I don't think that will ever happen. Big Show has, again, gone on to the other side, AEW. Even if he was still around here, around the WWE still, I don't think they would really want to release a just random throwaway kind of Big Show. I mean, it was big for the Shield to beat those three guys. I mean, they're all world champions by this point, or former world champions by this point. So they were trying to show, like, the future is coming kind of thing. But I could think of other Big Shows that they would probably have, released. Maybe in the future they might have dropped that one, but I doubt they would have spent so much time and effort making sure it was, exactly accurate. So it's close, but not quite. Again, thank you for watching. Please comment if you'd like. Oh, how did this happen? Well, unfortunately, one of my pictures got messed up, but check back soon for Recreated WrestleMania 30. And it's also, you can't read it, but it's the next CFA, the next Custom Figure Appreciation. So far, you've seen we had Sean O'Hare, I believe Hardcore Holly, Jeff Jarrett, Lance Storm, and Bill DeMott. Like I said, I've got 5 on the way. I'm waiting to see which one I want to really pop up there for number 30. And if you like what you see, or you want to see something change, comment below. I already know there's a goof up here. I don't know how that popped up on there when I was recording this. I'm not going to reshoot the whole thing. So I'll leave it as is, and it'll be a nice little goof up. But again, if nobody says anything, I don't know how to make this any better. Obviously, I wish it was video, but I don't have that technology nor that skill level. So maybe one day I will. But until then, this is what I've got. Check back again as we hit number 30 next time. See you next week.